Hello and welcome to a demonstration of Team Tasker's new WordPress website deployed using Amazon's AWS Elastic Beanstalk. On screen at the moment is a dashboard of Team Tasker's WordPress environment. So from here we can manage just about anything to do with the website. So this single environment here can do many things. The only thing that we sort of really need to do here is point our DNS management and Route 53 to the environment, and away we go. So first off, over on the left here we have the configuration menu. This is where we manage all the configuration of the application, from your chosen instances, load balancing, security, monitoring, update management. So first we'll have a look at our instances. Here I've chosen the T2 Micro. That's simply just to keep costs low for the development of this. However, all you have to do is simply just select whichever processor you need if you need more power, and then just scroll down, click apply, and it will manage everything else for you. We've also got the monitoring intervals here, and you select your security group out of your available security groups, as you can see here. So we'll now move on to capacity, so how many of these instances we want. So here we've got a load balanced capacity, so the minimum of 1 instance and the required maximum of 5 instances. So here you can select the availability zones and what availability zones you want to put them in, as well as the cooldown for how long it will be between scalings. So further down we have here the scaling triggers, so what's going to trigger our scaling up or down. As you see here, there are many different options you can choose. I've chosen CPU utilization for simplicity's sake, but you can even have it as a minimum or maximum. So I've just simply set that every 5 minutes check, and if the upper threshold, so the upper average CPU utilization across all instances that are currently active, is more than 85%, add 1 instance, and if the average is lower than 20% or lower, then take away an instance. We also have beneath this time-based scaling. So if we have a look here at what it's set to, so the Team Tasker required that it was set to the peak hours for Japan, Korea and London. So we have here said peak hours of Japan, Korea and London converted to the UTC plus 0 in a cron format, because that's what this reoccurring trigger uses. And so during the hours of 5 till 9, 1500 till 1800, and 2200 till 0000 hours, it will always have a minimum of 2 instances active, as the required through our brief. Next is the load balancer. So here you simply tell it what ports to listen to and whether or not you want to have a sticky session, so keeping one session to a specific instance. We also have here enabling the cross-zone load balancing, and then some other health check options that you should you wish to use them. Right down the bottom we have our network settings. So here we select not only the availability zone for our VPC, but also what availability zones we wish to use for our instances. You can also completely construct your database from within Elastic Beanstalk. However, I've chosen to use Aurora, which is Amazon's MySQL clone, simply because it does a little bit better performance, and it's not terribly more expensive than just using a SQL. So Elastic Beanstalk isn't compatible with Aurora, so I've had to go up here to RDS and I've created an Aurora MySQL instance. So here we have, as you can see, 2 instances. This is the master instance, and then this is a slave instance in a second availability zone, and that's just simply so that in case something happens to the first instance, we'll just switch over to the second slave, and we'll always have redundancy there. So once you have all your instances, networking, capacity, you just upload your WordPress and which you can just put in a directory. I've done it through the command line, but you can also do it through the GUI. You just go cmd so we'll go to our WordPress directory, and then you use the EBCLI, which is Elastic Beanstalk CLI, and you just upload it that way. Just commands EB deploy. I won't do it because we've already got it. However, that's how you can consistently reload and update it through the UI, and you can also manage many of these things through the UI if you wish, which is another reason why I've chosen Elastic Load Balancer. Keeps it all in one place, nice and easy to manage. So now we have a WordPress uploaded. The last thing we need to do is point our DNS in the correct direction. So we have here MCR motorcycle racing teamtasker.com, and you have our A record and C name record. And so if we head to mcr.teamtasker.com, there we go, we have our WordPress. So let's put in our WordPress, our username of ttadmin, our password is password, our database, it's not that one. So to find our database, we just go back to our WordPress, to our RDS instance, clusters, and then insert our cluster endpoint. And there we have it. You can run the installations, insert your TeamTasker website as you wish, and we are done. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. This I can just shut down and reboot, so if you need me to check anything or prove anything, let me know. And yeah, we'll see you in class. Oh, and before I forget, we also, part of our requirement was monitoring. So we go to here, and as you can see, we can monitor all the statistics of our environment. So this is CPU and your database as well. Overall environment health. So when it's updating, it'll go to unknown and no data. And then if something happens, this is the overall health of the entire environment. And you have stuff like number of requests, CPU usage, network usage. And as part of our brief, we had to set up some alarms. So these are 2 alarms here. This one's for average CPU in percentages across all current instances. So if for some reason we sit at 90% utilization on a CPU, average utilization of CPUs for 5 minutes, then we will get an email saying, hey, each CPU's spiked, the automatic the automatic scaling hasn't fixed this, there's an issue here, and admin can look at it. We also have overall health of the environment here, so for some reason Amazon decides that it goes into a warning degraded or severe stage, anything over 10, which is no data, which means there's no data coming through the actual environment. Either then an administrator will also get an email, and you can just set this here, and then it just sends an email to the administrator account saying, hey, there's an issue, how can we fix this? And you can also adjust these settings all through here. Anyway, thank you for watching.